Hello friends, welcome to my channel and thanks for watching this video. Friends, in this video we are going to discuss about Gulfport Energy Corporation, and as you can see this is the monthly chart or the long-term chart for this particular company. Now if you just read the name once, this is Gulfport Energy, and whenever we are talking about energy, basically it has different ways through which these kind of companies or products get communicated. And if you are looking at the price performance, it will definitely says you the same thing about that. Now first thing, that it is a commodity because apart from the product which the company is selling, the product itself has a separate identity. Now energy is one of those sectors where not only the business, the stock will change it trend or the course of action depending upon how the business is performing. Also it will also change the course of its action based on how the product itself is performing, right? So firstly, one should understand that how changes in regulations, changes in policies, changes in geopolitics, changes in business, also changes in product. All this have an impact whenever you are talking about a company which is directly or indirectly linked or related with commodity which itself has a separate identity. Okay. Now if you are looking at this chart, so there was a time when the commodity is on the rise. Obviously, see, one thing is that when you have a global bull market and everything has a demand, so the inflation is one thing which is bound to come because there are people who are ready to pay, there are people who are ready to buy. Okay, but whenever the demand is more than the supply, obviously the duration will vary from time to time, but considering a situation which is constant, let's say for 3 months, 6 months, a year or 2 years, whenever the demand you know is much more than the current market supply, so obviously for a certain amount of time the price will get inflated. Now you can see these kind of trends, and commodity is one of those places, or energy is one of those places where you can see the kind of price change we have. So now from the lows of 1999 till 2014, the stock has risen by 8,000%. Obviously there are lots of highs and lows which the stock has seen in the last 20 odd years. So here we have. But what has happened right now is a breakdown in the trend. Now understand one thing. We are looking at a chart, and the data we have is for more than 20 plus years. So we have ample amount of data uh, which can tell us about the trend, because we are not talking about 1 year or 2 year of data. We have 20 years of data, and if this kind of breakout happened in a chart like this, then obviously it has its own importance, and the severity of the downfall will be very big. Now in the overall context, you can see that there is a rise from its current low. So now I'm going to talk about short term. Okay, so in the short term, obviously we are looking at a monthly chart, but as you can see here that the stock has hit its low at 0.12, and from there it jumped back. Okay, so for the time being, for a short term trader, that's a different thing. But if you are looking at the overall construct of the chart, it carries a whole different meaning for that. Okay, why I am saying so? Because for short term, you can see the stock could probably move as it hits 0.12 and it bounce back. So it can go to the level which is as high as 0.36, and if it holds 0.36 then 0.93, and it could probably go towards 1.6. But even if the stock moves from the lows of 0.12 to the highs of 0.16, which in terms of return is 1100 or 1200 odd percent, but it will simply be called as a bounce back, trading bounce back, nothing more than that. And for a short term trader, that's a good amount of return. But those, just imagine those who are holding this stock for the last 10 years or 15 years, or let's say there are some people who are probably holding this stock since 2014 or 2000, in between 2011 and 2014. The kind of losses they are facing is massive. Okay, and I'm not talking about those who are owning or holding a substantial amount of uh, shares in the particular company. I'm talking about those who are holding a couple of hundred or thousand shares in a particular company. So that's a whole lot of different things which are going on. But understand, first of all, technically in the short term, as I've told you, that the stock has made its current low at 0.12. So 0.12 will become the last support or the stop loss below which one should not carry any position in the short term as well as in the long term. If the share could bounce back, then you have your first target or resistance at zero point 0.6, followed by 0.93, and then 1.6. Okay, now this is clear till 1.6. So till 1.6, this will simply be considered as a trading bounce back. Okay, that also I have told you. Now, for the time being, or even if you are looking for a short term or a long term, what you need to do, you need to be disciplined enough to, whenever you are taking any positions, first you understand, because I have spent 2 3 minutes in the first half of this video that explaining about the company. It's not actually about the company, but the kind of uh, company it has, the kind of company it is, and the kind of uh, importance or the product it carries, because it changes from person to person, business to business, and you can say that market to market, and all these things has its own impact or has an own impact by individuality. Now, you should be disciplined and place your stop losses, know your support and resistance, and trail it accordingly. Apart from that, apart from that, you will see that if the stock, so this is conditional, if the stock manages to hold above $1.6, what will happen that your old range, your old trading range, which was this, the highlighted section, okay, this is the highlighted section, will get activated. Okay, only if the stock start trading above 1.6. So if it does happen, the next target after 1.6 will be 6.8, followed by $16. Then you have $39 and probably $76. But I'm not talking about this. This will happen only and only if the stock started trading above 1.6. For the time being, so as you can see, the stock actually went down, it again went up, but it unable to hold the position above 1.6. So there is a case of sustainability as well. It is not like it shoots up and it, let's say it went up to its previous high of 2.5, which it does make in the month of April 2020, but it again falls back, and then it does not make any sense. It will again be considered as a trading bounce. Sustainability is also an issue. So for the time being, your range is in between 0.12 and 1.6. If the stock started trading and sustaining above 1.6, then you can think about all these levels. But just remember, these are for the long term and not specifically for the short term. And if you want to trade in this kind of stocks, even if you want to invest in this kind of stock, this there is no single point that you think that okay, the business is doing good for the timing, or the management is good. That is not enough for energy companies, because the product itself is an individual uh, commodity which has its own identity in the market, and which is also been trading like a financial instrument. Okay, so that makes the entire thing very volatile, very different. It is not like a normal company. Even the sector is not like a normal sector. So just remember, whenever you are talking about a commodity or a company which is directly or indirectly linked or trading or manufacturing or doing something related to commodity, you should know about the basics of that particular commodity, because each and every commodity is individual, and each and every commodity carries their own individuality. And if you are not able to understand those things, it would be better, either you should not touch those kind of stocks or look at those kind of stocks. And if you want to do, you should know the kind of volatility it carries. So this is the end of the video. If you like this content, do share your thoughts in the comment section and subscribe my channel. Lastly, take care of your family and friends.